Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Take a Shot with Emem Joy Emma. I am your girl, your host, Emem Joy Emma. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are listening to today's episode. I hope you're listening with some love, some joy, some hope, some peace. If you're not, well, then you already know the drill. I am sending that your way right about now. Well, hello. I hope, as always, that you're doing well. And as always, I hope today's episode is catching you in good spirits, especially with what is going on in our world right now. I long for the day where I don't where I don't say that, where I don't say with all the stuff that's going on, but you know what? There's always going to be some stuff going on. So, as always, I hope and I pray that you're doing well. And if you're not, as always, I am praying for you that things will get better and believing with you that things will get better. So, there's a lot going on, like I said. And if you have not been living under a rock, you are aware of what's going on in regards to the overturning of Roe versus Wade and what that means. And my goal, I don't my goal is not to come on here and to be divisive, because I feel like we already kind of are. Nor is it actually to come on here and give my opinion. I feel like my opinion at the end of the day doesn't matter. Um, Nor is it, I'm not even trying to talk about this because it's a hot button topic and it's going to get a lot of clicks and all of that. That is not, as always, y'all, if you know me, when there's anything that's crazy like this going on, I'd be like, nope, don't want to touch it. And that's how I felt about this. I was like, I don't want to touch this. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do me and we go, you know what I'm saying? We going to live our best life. But of course, as I was just watching what was going on and watching people's reactions, um, there's a lot of strong emotion with this. And I understand, because a lot of people have different experiences with this topic. And so it is a very sensitive issue and not one that I take lightly, and not one that I want to use, like I said, for views or clicks, or talk about because it's popular. I don't care for none of that. That's not my aim. But I do think it is important to bring a different conversation to the table than I think is that at least I see in my, what's coming across my world, in real life and on social media. Um, I feel to bring a different point of view, a different perspective than what I see in my world. And hopefully, this perspective that I share with you is edifying and encouraging. And so here's the thing. Okay. I find that a lot of people, again, like I said, have a lot of emotions. A lot of emotions have been stirred up when it comes to this topic. And like I said, I understand that. But my question, the question that I am about to ask, is for the believers. It is for the individuals that profess that Jesus is Lord, and the individuals that say Jesus is Lord over my life. Have you stopped in all of what's going on right now? Have you stopped and have you asked God, what is your heart and your perspective about what's going on right now? Not what do I feel about this, not what is my favorite speaker saying about this, but God, what is on your heart about this matter? How do you feel about what is happening right now? Do you know in the depths of your heart do you know or do you believe in the depths of your heart that if you were to ask a question like that God would answer you clearly, because he still speaks and he will reveal to you when you ask him questions like this? Do you know that it is possible? Do you know that you can do that? Is this a common practice for you? So when you are facing any type of challenge where you're like, I actually don't know, a lot of the, whatever issue, whether it's a personal issue, a political issue, whatever it is, do you make it a practice to say, okay, there's a lot going on here, and I want to know what God says about this matter? Do you believe that God's spirit is the spirit of truth? Right? Do you believe that what God thinks and feels, what God says about a matter, is the absolute truth, whether I agree with him or not? Right? Because we can find ourselves in a place where God says something and we don't necessarily agree. We have free will, y'all. Remember that. So it's okay to come to God and say, what do you think? What do you believe? What is your heart? I want to hear from you, not from nobody else. I want to hear from you, Jesus. What do you think about this? If you believe that God is the God of truth and that what he says is at the end of the day the absolute truth, then you know, and you're not afraid to go to him, right? Because it's not because we hear my truth and his truth and her truth, but there comes a time where it's like, no, 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 no. I don't want you what your perspective on truth is. I want the truth. And if you're a believer, you know that the truth is what God says. So, in all of your perspective, in all of your belief about what's going on, in all of your strong emotion, have you gone to God and said, what do you think? What do you believe? What do you feel? What is your heart about what is happening right now? I want the truth. If you're anything like me, I don't like being lied to, like at all. Don't lie to me. Tell me the truth. Don't lie to me and tell me that you're trying to protect me. That's why you lying to me, because you know it's going to hurt my feelings. No, don't be mean to me when you're saying things. Be as kind as you possibly can, but tell me the truth. Love me enough to tell me the truth. Even if it hurts me, trust that God will take care of me and heal me. Trust that God will allow me to be healed and help me to process whatever truth that you're giving me that I may have some trouble with. But at the end of the day, tell me the truth. Don't lie to me. If you're anything like me, then you always want the truth. Always. And when you're lied to, it's like, I don't care if you thought it was better that I don't know. That's not your decision to make. I always want you to tell me the truth. And so if you're anything like me, then you want to know what the truth is, what God says. And so my question is, in all of your thoughts and opinions, which are all valid, which a lot of people have some different opinions about this, and some of them I listen and I'm like, understand, understand, understand. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what, if you're a believer, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what your absolute favorite preacher thinks. Only thing that matters is, God, what are you saying about this? What is your heart about this? Let me step away because a lot is going on right now. There are a lot of emotions right now. Let me step away for 1 second. Let me back up and let me hear. Open up my ears, soften my heart to hear what you are saying. And if I am having a hard time processing it, God help me to accept what you are saying. Again, my goal is not to be divisive. I'm not going to share my thoughts or opinion because at the end of the day, it don't matter. What I think, how I feel doesn't matter. But if you are a believer, what God says and how God really feels about this, not what God said mixed with what you said. No. What God says is what matters, is the truth. And if your heart is, I want the truth, then that's your next step. Is asking him and inviting him to speak what he feels, what is the truth about this matter, about this situation, and to help you adjust your perspective accordingly. You can strongly believe something. Strongly. And you can be wrong. So the goal is to be humble enough to recognize and to desire and to say, I would rather know the truth than to staunchly and strongly be in opposition to whatever God is saying. So this is an invitation. It's an invitation to say, you know what? I don't know, or I believe this, but I've never really asked God. Or I believe this based on my experiences, but I've never thought to include God in this conversation and ask him what he believes about this and what he says about this subject matter. And because I'm only interested in the truth and I believe that he's the spirit of truth, I will ask him his thoughts and believe that he will speak clearly to me. In whatever time, whenever he chooses to, he will speak clearly to me and tell me the truth. If you hear this and you're like, I'm not ready to ask for that, okay. When you're ready, ask. All right, that is it for today's episode. I hope this episode blessed you. And again, this is something that I don't take lightly, and I understand it is not an easy topic or issue to handle because a lot of people have a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different experiences with this. So I understand it. But as the believer who says and professes, I believe that Jesus is Lord and Jesus is Lord over my life, then your goal is to invite him into every topic and ask what his heart is. That's it for today's episode, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I love you and I appreciate you. I would love to hear your thoughts and your perspective about today's episode. So I am on Instagram at Take a Shot Podcast, on TikTok at Take a Shot Podcast, and then you can reach me via email at takeashotpodcast@gmail.com. As always, you can get your merch. Get your merch at shoptakeashot.com. If you have enjoyed today's episode, first of all, make sure you share it with your loved ones, and also we're on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, really, I think with the exception of SoundCloud. Go on ahead and rate and review. And when you do that, it just lets others know that we are here and we do exist. Thank you so much for listening. I love you and I appreciate you, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next episode.